Honestly, I can't believe no one's talking about Tobey Maguire being in the trailer. He's literally helping Tom Holland, Spider-Man. Check this out. Tally ho.
Tell everyone to hang on!
Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on this video. My name is Chris. The Spider-Man No Way Home trailer is still occupying my mind on a daily basis. This freaking trailer is so huge and massive that it is now holding the record for most viewed trailer in a 24-hour period, outbeating Avengers Endgame. And when you have a trailer that massive and highly anticipated by a bunch of people, they's gonna watch it 100 times. I know I have. And because of this, fans and myself have uncovered a couple little hidden details that we did not catch the first couple hundred times around from watching this trailer. So what I'm going to be doing here for you guys is breaking down some of the more hidden details within the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer, a few Easter eggs. I already did my Spider-Man No Way Home trailer breakdown where I got a lot of the general big stuff thrown at your face. So if there was something obvious here that I didn't mention, it's in my first trailer breakdown. Alright, but now jumping back into Spider-Man No Way Home trailer, it's really awesome to see fans go crazy over it and even come up with a bunch of different theories. Some might be very far-fetched, like the fact that Doctor Strange might be Mephisto in the movie, as well as who the heck is the missing sixth member of the Sinister Six, because this trailer so far only showed us 5 members: Green Goblin, Dr. Octopus, Electro, and Sandman, and a very quick glimpse of the Lizard trapped in a Doctor Strange prison. I break down those theories in a separate video, but the new one that now fans are coming up with that I have not talked about here is that everyone is strongly believing in the moments when Dr. Octopus comes out and he says the words "Hello, Peter," he's not talking to Tom Holland, but instead is addressing Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. There is some crazy new evidence to back this up, but this would make a lot more sense because that's one of the things I'm kind of hesitant on with Spider-Man No Way Home. Of course, I love the nostalgia factor and just want to see these villains pop back up because I grew up watching a lot of these guys, but it should be noted that Tom Holland has no connection whatsoever to any of these multiverse villains, and even with Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield popping up in the movie, at the end of the day, this will still be Tom Holland's film, and just the fact that all these villains to him are complete strangers and he's just befuddled with the circus of a Sinister Six that's going to be coming after him, it's just not as impactful as we would like that Dr. Octopus happens to know the name of Tom Holland. But him addressing Tobey Maguire in this scene would actually have that impact because I think that's a rematch people have been dying to see. Now, some of the things that point to this possibly being it, people have noticed that what Tom Holland is wearing in this scene, the suit and tie outfit, is almost identical to the suit and tie outfit that Tobey Maguire wore in Spider-Man 3. Now, I'm fully aware this could be a giant coincidence, but really when you look at the things side by side, it's like, whoa, did they do that on purpose, or is something else going on here? If this isn't a coincidence, I think it's a great little parallel to show that these are supposed to be the same characters, so they are dressing the same, but they are still variant versions, so that's why they look different. Other people want to take it a step further and say that that actually is Tobey Maguire, and because Marvel likes to do a lot of CGI trickery in their trailers to misdirect the audience, this is possibly supposed to be Tobey Maguire, but instead they just rendered him out with Tom Holland. That's all fine and dandy, but if in trailer 2, Tom Holland's Spider-Man is wearing that green jacket and blue shirt, like Andrew Garfield, they was doing something fishy here. And since we're on the topic of what Tom Holland is wearing, obviously in the trailer, we only get a quick glance of the new black and gold suit. I can't believe the amount of people who still think this is supposed to be the symbiote suit and Venom is connected. Trust me, I would wish that was the case, but no, this is just going to be a different suit. Again, most people believe that this is just his regular suit, but turned inside out. Because if you go back to Spider-Man Homecoming, when they're working on the interior of that suit, it is basically exactly the same, black and gold, so it could just be that Spider-Man wore the suit inside out. But as he's running in these quick frames, if you pause it at the right moment, people notice there's a couple of lizard claw marks on his chest. And that really brings me back to the same lizard claw marks that Andrew Garfield got in The Amazing Spider-Man when he went up against that same lizard. That's a really great detail, and I feel like that could even open up some banter between Tom Holland and Andrew Garfield, or Andrew Garfield could look at the chest of Tom Holland and be like, oh, been there, brother. And since we're in the topic of this scene right here, people have noticed if you zoom into the corner here right when Tom Holland appears in this soup kitchen, it does confirm that this is the F.E.A.S.T homeless shelter that we have seen in the Spider-Man comic books, and right now most famously in the Spider-Man PS4 video game. We've also gotten 2 different set photos with these F.E.A.S.T trucks, making it seem like they are going to be a big part of the movie, or at least in the background to let you know this is in the world. If by the end of this movie they keep the consequences of the spell and the fact that that not everybody remembers that Peter Parker is Spider-Man, including the people who would supply him with some Tony Stark technology, and then this Peter Parker now graduating high school as it's rumored by the end of this movie. It's about time the boy got a real world job, and where else to begin than the F.E.A.S.T homeless shelter. And we all know a little somebody that Peter Parker ends up meeting in F.E.A.S.T. Miles Morales. I would love it if Miles Morales shows up in this movie, and another character in this trailer that a lot of people are linking to Miles Morales that unfortunately is not, is that person that Peter Parker is speaking to on the bridge scene. Now I want to go ahead and remind everybody that the mom of Miles Morales in the comic books and in the video games is usually Puerto Rican. And as a Hispanic person myself, I don't think that the woman in the car is Puerto Rican, though I could be wrong. This most likely is the mother of MJ in the movie, and in the trailer they've done some clever camera trickery that could hint to her either being killed or seriously in danger, and Tom Holland's Spider-Man needs to save her. If you're looking at the car right here when Tom Holland is standing in front of it, you can make out some of the details of it, and scenes before that we see this exact same car that got smashed from the back, the door ripped wide open, and we know this is supposed to be both the scene where Green Goblin comes in because of his Goblin bomb and Dr. Octopus. Tom Holland's Spider-Man hasn't suffered a lot of consequences or a lot of personal losses outside of Uncle Ben, who's never mentioned, and Tony Stark. This feels like a very consequential movie for Tom Holland's Spider-Man, and even if he rekindles his love with MJ, the loss of her mother because of Spider-Man would really damage that relationship and could be something to split them apart. And another reason why Spider-Man would want to keep the spell of his friends not knowing who he is and suffer with those consequences. And speaking of CGI camera trickery, people do believe this is one of the scenes that is being altered for general audiences. One, because the Infinity War version of the Iron Spider suit isn't in any of the marketing material, and instead the Iron Spider suit, part of Spider-Man No Way Home, looks very different and is more red and black and gold. Not to mention just the amount of space in the background that leaves it wide open for two other people to possibly be on screen with him. There's people who've already made edits of Tobey and Andrew in the background with him. That would be really cool, but even if this is supposed to be the Infinity War Iron Spider suit, since we know he's about to fight Dr. Octopus in this battle, and it'll be kind of an interesting one that they'll both be having claws on their backs and what that fight's gonna be looking like, I think it's pretty clear that if we're eventually gonna be seeing this red, gold, and black suit that they're hinting in the marketing, Dr. Octopus is gonna destroy Peter Parker in this scene and tear apart the Iron Spider suit. This could be the reason why he needs Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield and seeks their help out, because since he is unfamiliar with all 6 of these villains, he's never had to fight anything like them, and if the rumors are true that the reason these Sinister 6 villains band together is because they all remember being killed by the Spider-Man of their universes, Tom Holland's gonna be like, alright, I can't defeat these guys, so let me go grab the dudes in their universes that supposedly killed them. But it still leaves the door open. A lot of fans wondering about how much exactly are these villains the same ones that we grew up with. I mean, I have my doubts it's exactly the same Dr. Octopus because, well, there's a lot of slight subtle changes here. He has a different haircut, he has a different shade of glasses, his tentacles are slightly tweaked and different. Same thing with his coat and Steve Jobs turtleneck. Alfred Molina in an interview mentioned that his Dr. Octopus would be coming in at the exact time that he died from Spider-Man 2. But if that's the case, we all remember he turned into a good guy by that point and made the self-sacrifice. That's where another detail comes into play that a lot of fans have been noticing. If you look at the tentacles for Dr. Octopus, they are glowing red. And if this is supposed to be in connection with the Sam Raimi universe, when those tentacles were glowing red in that movie, it's because those tentacles were influencing Dr. Octopus to be evil. That was a big plot point in Spider-Man 2 where they had this AI technology on the tentacles and they were pushing Dr. Octopus's mind into an evil direction. And a big part of it was him trying to overcome that influence on them. Maybe something involved with him traveling through the multiverse affected that AI chip in the claws, and now they're fully in control or heavily influencing him again. And if that's the case, does that mean Sandman really is protecting Spider-Man in this scene and it's not just Electro hitting the dirt and it raising the ground? Because by the end of Spider-Man 3, Sandman was a good guy. He redeemed himself, apologized to Peter Parker, and has no beef with him, and then just dusted away into the wind. No Thanos needed. I really want to believe they will be the exact same version from the Sam Raimi and Amazing Spider-Man universe, but we already already saw Electro's gonna get a big change. He's going from blue to yellow. I think when we watch Spider-Man No Way Home, and if we see any characteristics or flaws in their characters that don't match up with the other movies, they're just a variant that has that slight tweak. Because that's how the multiverse works. There's endless versions of yourself. There's a version out there of me today who decided to wear a red shirt instead of this one, and that's the only difference in our universe. So it could be that these variant versions do have the exact same backstories that we saw in those previous Spider-Man movies, but if they have anything else changed, that could just be the only change from their universe. But those are just some hidden things that people have been catching from watching the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer over and over. I want to know from you guys, are there any other details that you think you found that other people are not talking about? Do you believe any of the theories going on with some of these subtle little details in the movie? Anything and everything, be sure to like and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at 3C Film Review. As always, I'm Chris. Take care.